Hi everyone, Dr. D'Amico here. With our really rapid transition from face-to-face instruction to online learning, I thought I'd make a video to share with you some of the tips that I have found work for me and my students in my online classes that deal with working effectively from home. So here's my little Bitmoji, and she's going to help us guide us through some of these tips today. So one thing that might be useful for you to know about me is that I've taught online for a number of years at St. Francis University. I love teaching online, and here's what I like about it. It's great for those students who maybe are adult learners who have, a job and they're coming back into the classroom. They are trying to get their degree now. It's a really great opportunity for them. That's one of the most wonderful things that the internet has brought into our society is this sort of democratization of education and of information, and online education is a great example of that. I will say this current situation we're in is not ideal. So for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, this has been a really fast transition for all of us. You wanted to be in a face-to-face class. I wanted to teach you in a face-to-face class. Really, that's a different beast than an online class. So it's a quick transition. It's not what we were expecting. It's definitely the safest thing for us right now. It's what we should be doing to keep ourselves as healthy and safe as we can, but it's just not what we were expecting. Something else to note is that studies show, this has been really demonstrated in the data, that students are a lot more likely to drop out of or fail out of online classes. And so I think you know that that is not what we want for you. Your professors really want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. I know you want to succeed. And in fact, here's my Bitmoji. So happy to give you an A+ for doing really nice work. So how can we effectively make that happen? Here are some success strategies from me to you. I just want to start by saying that the number one priority right now is that you take care of yourself, which will help you take care of others, your family members, your friends, your loved ones. And I'm going to say taking care of yourself includes taking care of your mental health. Here are some things that I like to do that I find very helpful. Journaling, I keep a journal, I write in it every day. Meditating, that can include prayer too, for those of you coming from a faith-based background. What about yoga? Look at my Bitmoji doing a really nice warrior pose here in yoga. Just really do what you need to do to take care of yourself, including mentally and spiritually. I'm suggesting here, I'm a historian, so one thing I've been thinking a lot about, what about keeping a Corona diary? I think later you may end up wanting to share these events and how they affected you personally, maybe with future generations. Maybe you're going to be a parent, maybe you're going to be a teacher, maybe you're going to be a coach. These future generations are going to be really interested to hear what life was like for us at this time. So that's a couple sort of big picture things to think about as you proceed. So let's get down to the nitty gritty of what you need to do to succeed in an online environment. I think it's really important to have a good work station, a place where you are doing your work, a dedicated spot. So for one thing, you need a place where you can keep all the things that you need to succeed as you're working online from home, in your house or wherever you are. So here's some things that I always gather when I'm starting to work. Pen and paper, of course your computer, you need that. Don't forget your books. I need my glasses. I like to wear headphones while I work. That helps keep me focused, stops me from being distracted. And I like to have water with me or maybe some hot tea. So that's just sort of one thing to think about. Another bigger picture thing to think about is how can you stay focused during your work time? To me, especially nowadays, I know it's very tempting to be distracted, to be wondering what's going on in the world. You're home with your family. You probably love your family. You want to hang out with them. You have your dogs, your cats, whatever. So how can you make your workspace and your time really sort of sacred and keep others from interrupting you, which I'm sure they're doing out of love? Here's a few tips. Number one, I am very fortunate to I have my own office right here in my house. And so I can just shut the door, right? Here's my Bitmoji. She is hitting the books. If this door is shut, people know, don't come in here. Denise is working. And in fact, here's my home office, and you can see my Bitmoji is off to work. She's entering into work mode now. She's going to sit it down at her desk and do some work. And my brain knows that. So then when I do sit down at my desk, I am ready. However, I know we don't all have this much room. We don't all have our own home offices. So I was remembering growing up, my mother is a retired high school English teacher. She always did all of her work at the dining room table. So here's my Bitmoji. She's doing work at my dining room table. And we knew as in the family, her children, my dad, we all knew if mom was sitting working at the dining room table, we were not supposed to interrupt her. So maybe you can let the people in your household know, hey, I'm sitting here, I'm doing this work. It's not time to chat. It is time for me to focus. And another wonderful tip is headphones. So I know many students have headphones of different kinds. I see you wearing them. Some of them are very big and fancy. Some are tiny, the earbuds. So why not wear headphones? That way you can jam out to some nice study music. There's so many great options for that on Spotify and Pandora and iTunes and everything. So you're jamming out, and also you have this very visible signal on your head. Don't interrupt me. I'm working. Another tip I have is about your own expectations of yourself. As you probably know, it is really great to have some structure to your day. I'm a huge fan of that. I have a little routine for myself. I love the idea of a routine. However, I know that we're in uncertain times. Things are sort of up in the air. Everyone's at home. So my advice to you is to set yourself up with some structure, but maybe not too much. Don't make this really rigid schedule that you might end up not being able to stick to. So in other words, don't set yourself up to fail. If your expectations are too high, you will not adhere to them, and then you might sort of be tempted just to quit altogether. So here's Voltaire, famous philosopher, and he is very famous for saying this quote, "Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good." It's better to do a good job or even an okay job sometimes, rather than saying, well, I didn't do it perfectly, so I'm just going to quit. And so here's a similar idea from Beyonce, a more recent quote from Beyonce. It's not about perfection, it's about purpose. So how can we make that happen? I personally am a big fan of what's called the Pomodoro Method. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato. So in the Pomodoro Method, what one does is you work for 25 minutes straight. You set a timer. I like tomatotimer.com, and you can see here's my Bitmoji. She has set the timer to 25 minutes. She hits start. And then once I do that, I know I am working on whatever I'm working on right then. So in your case, it might be I'm working on a paper. I'm working on this homework. I'm doing this reading. I'm writing a lab report, etc. I'm working on this. I'm doing actual work. I'm in front of my computer, yes. But look what I'm not doing. I'm not checking my email. It's tempting, I know, but I'm not doing it. I'm not looking at Facebook or other social media. I'm not looking at my Snapchat, where these Bitmojis come from. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just focused for 25 minutes. You will be surprised at how much you can get done in 25 minutes if you stay focused. The other important part of the Pomodoro Method is after that 25 minutes is over, you get yourself to a stopping point and you take a 5-minute break. Highly recommended. It's these breaks that make you able to stay focused for 25 minutes, right? And the other thing they suggest is don't do more than 2 hours of this at a time. So about every 2 hours, take a longer break. Go, well, for me, sometimes I might go put in a load of laundry, might do a couple yoga poses, grab a snack. So something to sort of get you up out of your chair, taking that break at least every 2 hours. Just a few closing thoughts. First of all, remember that we're all in this together. This has been a really quick change for all of us. We want to support you. It may not be perfect for a bit, but remember, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And as Beyonce said, it's not about perfection, it's about purpose. For students to succeed, again, studies show, the data tells us that a huge indicator of student success is the amount of contact that students have with their faculty. So please, please stay in touch with your professors, with your advisor. There are all sorts of wonderful resources available to you. I'm going to make a post about that in Canvas, so check that out. Remember, we at St. Francis, your faculty, the staff, everyone is here for you, and we want you to succeed. So please take care of yourselves, take care of your mental health, do the best you can in your classes, and do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much, everyone.